common yet, or
not common?
Not so common. So
but maybe the urban, like my son who's 12 years old, because he has access, so like his revision work he does from a company, Khan Academy. So he uses that because his revision in school is quite horrible. So he uses all his online portals, he found another one to do all his revisions, get more questions, do his IQ test. But that's my son.
Yes.
It's not really. So what even the RAI Foundation is doing, they have a whole series of online courses which are available for the rural students. Yeah. And
it's all about visualization now. So online courses can be, boring. It's not just a problem.
Yeah.
So you end up not finishing. Like 80% you will not end up finishing online courses.
80%.
80%.
That's high.
That's high in India because they start something. It's only high education, and they probably end up not completing 70%, 60%, 80%. So I think it has to be jazzed up somewhere in the form of.
Amit, I've realized when you give it free, they'll never finish it. When they have paid for it, they will finish it. Same for me.
Yeah, it's for anybody.
Anybody who's got it for free loses the interest.
Well, also I think the online format, in America we're learning to do it better. Some people do it better than others, right? It has to be pretty engaging, but and so we're learning actually to offer different formats online and how to engage people more. Whether it has recorded sessions versus group work, discussions, however, to try to make it more engaging so that students want to stay, right? But okay, so how long have you guys been doing this work?
Yeah, please. So I have a presentation which is a different topic, and we are in a different topic.
Oh.
Which I delivered yesterday.
I see.
We can connect sometime and show you the videos how we are. So it's almost 2 weeks now in terms of starting the concept and coming to a phase where that exact product is now ready to be delivered in India. So our centers are in Germany, Berlin.
Okay, really?
We are centers. Yeah.
Cool.
So the production happens there because we have facility of content, research, good professors there on particular subjects. And it's being consumed in India.
Moderator. One more person is sitting here.
She'll be back.
She's the moderator.
Okay.
अभी चालू नहीं हो मैडम आएंगे चालू मैडम आएंगे नहीं चालू
Just came and got me and said, come over.
It's out. Whoever not come and not come. Okay, so yeah, this one. So thank you so much for coming and good afternoon to our speakers Rabinder and Amit. While they will introduce themselves to you, I'm quite excited to attend your session because you're talking of transformation, which is in our country we are going through a huge transformation, and it will happen through education. So we have two ladies who are going to also add value. So we'd likely like to have an interactive session because both of them have a great platform that they're working with. But do give us your viewpoints also because you're coming from a different space in North India. So let's make it interactive. And this is being streamed live. So have you started now?
Okay.
Thanks. So Rabinder, no, you want me to move the slides for you? So is he coming to your
Okay. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. It's just laptop in turn.
So you know where you're standing, Rabinder? It's perfect. And the slide is here.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Excuse me, sir. Wait.
I am based out of the US. I'm an assistant.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Is same okay? Is right now? West is it?
Sure.
Oh.
Should we start?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good
afternoon, everyone. Myself, Professor Rabinder. I am Director of the Research Center in Pune, in the center of India. And it's funded by a private industry called Phenolics Industries. It's a 20,000 crore empire in India into manufacturing. My background is basically, I am an engineer, but my postgraduate degrees are in physics, biomedicine, and in microbiology. 3 different master specializations, and my PhD is on optogenetics, brain research. Basically, what I'm going to talk today is something very, very relevant for India. There has been last 3 months, there has been a disruption in terms of IT service industry. And it's not because of President Trump, it's not because of the protectionist policies of Americans or Europeans. It's basically what we missed in bus in India in the last 30 years. So I wanted to give a brief introduction to what has been happening in the education system in India. They have been producing service class, English-speaking, low-level, skilled laborers, I would say, in the last 30 years, and never gave the right importance to real science and engineering and technology education. So the quality of the education system has been diluted, and recent months, the council which is responsible for regulating the quality of education in India, which is called All India Council for Technical Education, has made some attempt to reform the structure. And this has it's a correlating factor with what is happening in the IT industry. The transistor was Intel process came in 1971. Computers came to India in 1984. And the actual software service industry, not the technical product-based industry, because our exports in product and software is only 10% compared to services, which is almost 80%. And so today we have achieved a lot with 8% growth GDP, and this 30 years of our service industry's contribution to Indian GDP transformed the lives of millions of middle class. That is no denying factor. But till even today, out of 130 crores population, there is 1.3 billion, 300 million are still under poverty. That's the truth, and nobody can deny it, and it's everywhere. Now, starting from January 2017, there's a slump in the IT service industry, and many workers are being laid off every day. It's the newspaper. So the service model is not going to benefit. There are 2 important reasons. One is change in technology in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning. 2, maybe the political situation. True capitalism is out and more protectionist capitalism is in. And India was basically built from 1947 socialist policies from Nehruvian era. So anyway, I will go to my mentor, Dr. Kalam, and we'll start from there. Yeah. I've been talking about this in India from 2005. So yeah. Battery?
No, it's not the issue. Okay. It will take some time for
No, I'm connecting my laptop. It's fast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have only 5 slides, so I'll finish fast. Don't worry. Yeah, I will take the rest. No, no.
Great, Rabinder. Thank you.
It's okay.
Sorry for the interruption. I'll continue from here again. Basically, this I've been giving a talk in India from 2005. I completed all my studies from Europe, traveling between Europe and India. I'm a product of Technical University of Regression, which is one of the top 100 universities in the world, and also a product of Microsoft University, which I recently completed in biomedicine in 2016. And also worked for European Space Agency, basically Rosenbach. that's compatible with physics.
Yes.
Even if you are a postgraduate or a doctorate or academician, my talk is a little bit always fundamentals in simplicity, a typical German methodology. Come to the grasp of it. So basically 30.4 billion years old, basically Planck's prediction, 4.6 billion years old, that's the Earth. Life on Earth is 3.6 billion years old. Everybody knows, every academician knows, scientist knows. And our human species is roughly 200,000 years old. It's 0.2 million. It's very, very less. It has evolved over many species, hybridization. So today we have Homo sapiens, which is a hybrid product, not a single product. And with our sensible abilities, 5 senses, we are able to understand what's happening around the universe. We define it as science. And the science is basically natural science and social science. There's nothing else. But commercialization in India, as privatization in education, has diluted the quality in science. That today we lack scientists. Though we have achieved very good success, there is only contribution of 10% of the population. The scientists in IITs, IIC, Indian Institute of Science, our H index is very poor. We are ranked 122 out of 128 countries in the world in terms of patents. I'll show the graph. Our plagiarism is highest in India in terms of quality of work. Stone towards that is machine learning and artificial intelligence. And my area of work is related to optogenetics, which is to take signals from the brain using light and stimulate it. And reading the data, comparing with functional magnetic resonance image, fMRI. I will give an example. For example, if you go to any hospital in India, the X-ray machine comes from Germany, Siemens, Philips. An MRI comes from Europe or Toshiba. It's not made in India, but the patent is not with us. We have never contributed from 1947 till date any modern devices. But 5,000 years ago, the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa culture was able to contribute for development. 2,000 years ago, in Ajanta and Ellora, we were able to build civil architecture without importing any machinery from anywhere in the world. So that intellectual capability is there, but it has been sidelined to become a service class mentality. So that is what is now troubling the Indian IT software industry, where the government of India is sending delegation after delegation and standing in front of the White House for H-1B visas. For a country of 1.27 million, no need to stand there. We have 1.27 billion brains. Each one is 1,400 grams. An adult brain, an adult female brain is 1,350 grams, right? So basically the problem is the privatization, corruption, which has enrolled in the education system, that has collapsed the engineering education. There were 3,484 engineering colleges affiliated to a particular university in different provinces or states. This year, 275 has been closed. Have you ever heard of any country in the world where colleges are continuously closed? Nowhere in the world it happens. It happens only in India. That's because of the mentality. The change in the mentality comes through research. Right? So these 4 technologies, we are successful in IT technology. The world itself came only in 1981, information technology. Yeah. Jim Cossing, first of all, in IBM data center, coined that word. After that, we call it as information technology. But the foundation of information technology starts from physics, semiconductor technology. Unfortunately, we don't give so much importance in India. And this engineering education has been so much diluted that we are not able to produce inventors. We are not able to produce discoverers. We are always importing. We bought 32 Rafale aircrafts, which are 1 decade old technology, almost 10 years old technology, for 58,000 crores. It's unimaginable in a European country. They take this money and they go to the next level of technology. And it's a cycle of happening between a developing country and a developed country. Today we are importing arms from Israel, but we have best institutes in the world. Only one institute is in the top 200, Indian Institute of Science. Yeah. For 1.27 billion, only one institute is in the top 200 in terms of publications. So what has been missing in this education system? The system has lacked, diluted so much for profit. Any private organization in the name of a trust or a society, and a member of a parliament or a member of an assembly can establish an education institute for profit as a motive and dilute the content so much. So for example, it's the only engineering program in the world where you study mathematics for 6 semesters. It's really unbearable. Out of 8 semesters, Only 6 semesters concentrating on fundamental mathematics. How can you write a code if you don't know what is the basic algorithm? I will show the latest report of how many people are employable in Indian engineering education. So the connection between science, engineering, and technology is the same. Science is the ability to use your intellectual degree of intelligence to envisage what is happening in the universe. Technology is defined as the tools and crafts developed by Homo sapiens for their own comforts and livelihood. And engineering is defined as the process of building this technology. Yeah. So that's the connection between science, engineering, and technology. When this is lacks in a fundamental curriculum, you cannot have inventors. We cannot have discoverers. Yes, there are there. India is not so bad, otherwise we cannot grow 7.5%. We cannot launch 104 satellites from the space. Or we cannot go to Mars, we cannot go to Moon, but that is a contribution of 10% of the population who cannot speak good English. Who have used their mother tongue to learn. They don't come from poor schools in upper middle class in India who speaks only English. Yeah. They are able to think, but that is a contribution of 10%. But still today we have farmer suicide in the state of Maharashtra, which I represent. Still today we have farmer suicide in Orissa. Our institutions, our agricultural universities and universities have not been able to successfully bring down or invent any kind of a crop. But we have universities, we have PhD holders, but their quality is very bad. So only the 10% contribution has been contributed to this 7.5% average GDP growth from 1994.
What about the brain drain that we had in the country?
Brain drain is not a factor because a country of 1.27 billion brain drain is not at all a factor. They are still contributing some other country because the human species can adapt. Only human value will not change. Language, religion, caste, everything else changes. You migrate, you reproduce, you change. These are adaptable. But human essence cannot be adapted. The ability to think, intellectual ability cannot be adapted. It's individualistic. So the connection between science, engineering, technology is missing in our educational curriculum. And that is what creates business in a developed country. And technology time domain is IEEE reference, it's not my diagram. So these are the technologies, and from roughly 1600 we have been following the Western science, which started in Central Europe, Germany, England, France. The European populations basically contributed to the development of modern science. And we have copied that and came to 1971, which is roughly designated as the IT age, when the first Intel microprocessor came with 1 hertz operation and 1,000 transistors in 1 centimeter square area. And by 2012, we are talking about nano age. We are already seeing in washing powder and different kinds of materials, real application of nanotechnology. Today, we are talking about cognitive age, where we can interface our brains with external digital systems. So, and maybe by 2050, we'll be talking about real space age, where we can make life travel, because there is a lot of private investments like Elon Musk and others are going to do. Right? So the second skip, this is second skip. If you see India's GDP from 2000, this I've taken from the Government of India website, 1980 to 2016, this is the graph which gives a comparison between nominal and purchasing power parity. It has been very fantastic, very nice, no doubt about it. But this is the comparison between China and India. It's a service-based economy. The other one is manufacturing-based economy. The Chinese initially used to copy, but after 2000 they have started innovating and inventing. So there are many American universities which have open campuses in many European universities. I have listed all the universities in Chengdu, everywhere. They're fantastic. So it's a collaborative work. So China is moving on from manufacturing class to innovative class, but because of the economic policies, they also have some stoppings in the growth. The same case with India. India concentrated from 1994 purely on IT service, neglecting all the other domains. So they ended up importing even an MRI in a hospital from Europe or Japan or South Korea. We cannot invent, we cannot make. We have not made. It's not that we couldn't invent. We invented 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. We built beautiful temples without importing any machines from anybody. There was Takshashila, there was Nalanda. The real centers of knowledge and power. That's all gone in the wind somewhere because of the slave mentality of the last 400 years. And this is the software exports. So as the software exports increased from 1994, the middle class, the lower class, from say roughly from low middle class, they came to the middle class. You can own a house, you can own a bike, basically because of your salary. And that salary is because if you employ an American, you have to pay $7,000 per year, or in euros, 5,000 euros. In Europe now, a well-paid job, 8,000 euros. But in India, month you can employ 20 people. That's why it's cost effective. That's why outsourcing happens. That's as simple as that. But that model is not working now. That's why companies like CTS and Wipros are sending out 10,000 and 10,000 at a go, because you fail to invent on products and you concentrate only on service. So this hype and hoopla about this modernity in India is very much limited to the service class, not to the intellectual class. And the wealth is redistribution is not happening because of the quality of education. So if the equality comes into education, the quality improvement happens. The major difference I will show you in terms of statistics, as the export growth, the number of colleges in India increased. Every year went up. And today, it is closing down. Just the opposite. 122 colleges closed in the year of 2016-17. 2017-18, 275 engineering colleges closed. And what are the reasons? Change in technology, extreme privatization, greed and selfishness, what we call food capitalism.
You don't get the seat on merit. You get the seat on money. Any high secondary school 18-year-old kid who gets 45% becomes an engineer. He doesn't have a passion. He doesn't have an interest. You have money, you buy degrees. Can you contribute to real technology? You can't. You have to import everything. You go to a Tata plant, the robots which are working. I work with the Tatas. I'm a consultant for Wipro also, Tata also. I also work with Intel India. So, as a consultant. So, most of the thing we import. If I do silicon post testing, I import the machine. Every equipment. He made a small handmade spectroscope and he got Nobel Prize for the Raman effect. Chandra Bose came to Indian Institute of Science, Kolkata. He started his work in a laboratory. Today we have named bosons after him. Yeah. So for research, you don't need investment. The research will get the mindset.
Actually, I completely agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, don't you think that government has to kind of improvise the structure that we have in academics as of now?
If the ethics is not when I know my son is getting 45% and I want him to be a doctor by paying money, the government cannot do anything about it. Government cannot do it. Nowhere in the world it can do it. Okay? So it's a statistics based on Asbury Miles, which was very latest 2017 statistics. So only 7% of our engineering graduates, 16 lakhs engineering graduates. Already we have produced almost like 10 million graduates in the last 10 years. Only 7% are employable. Employable is only 7%.
What does that mean, employable? What do you mean? I mean,
They can find a job
they
based
can
on their
just
skills.
find one.
They roughly like 16 lakhs is what 10 lakhs is 1 million, almost like.
Shelby is also saying about the curriculum at the engineering college, because what he's learned is not something that the industry needs. So when we go to employ engineers, we don't find them competent enough.
Okay.
You have a degree, but you don't have the knowledge
have
for
the
the job,
skills.
so I don't
Okay.
want you. So he's not employed.
Because why this number of engineering colleges increased? Because of the software. Service, not real software. 70% is service. We have only less than 10% as profit. Yeah. And these are their detailed statistics. And why these engineers are not employed is also detailed statistics. This is the major problem in India last 1 year. It's a big, big problem, but nobody talks about it because the government is hoping that Americans will give them visas and H-1 visa, and they are sending delegation after delegation to US. And Trump administrations are moving. Actually, it's not to blame Trump. It's to blame the technology. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is finishing off your loop-based services or call center-based services. It's automated response system, robotics. Yeah. Now, what is the problem with India is when we say information technology, it starts from electronics, which is basically science, and goes to microelectronics. For example, if you combine 2 resistors and 1 capacitor, you get a diode. But if you ask an engineering graduate to draw the diagram, he cannot draw. He cannot identify a component out of 5 diodes, but he is an engineer. A mechanical engineer cannot assemble a mechanical system. He is a mechanical engineer. An automobile engineer cannot break it, because in India it is called low level. What we call applied intelligence is lacking in the curriculum. Okay, they get a theoretical knowledge based on memory, passing theoretical exams. Don't move to the next step to apply it. So this is the hierarchy in case of information technology. We focus more on the software service side, but we neglected networking, embedded. Not even a single chip manufactured in India. We don't have a semiconductor manufacturing facility. SCL Chandigarh is there, that is for ISRO, not for us. not for the common man. And a couple of small, IIT Delhi has one facility, IIT Chennai. They are all microfabrication facility of class 100 level, not even class 10 level. Very limited in India. Yeah. Yeah. So, you see, the focus comes back to the basic aptitude, the ability to think. Because of this last 30 years, consumerism is considered as development. Development is not about consumerism. Development is about HDP, Human Development Index. If you want to measure it, that's the right way to measure, not the GDP. GDP is overall data, which includes Mukesh Ambani or Anil Ambani, one of the top billionaires in the world. And how can I compare middle class who's earning less than $20,000 per year, $30,000? Average doesn't work out. So if you come to that, the basic thing is, it's not that research is not there. Research is fantastic. Otherwise, we cannot, government organization cannot launch 104 satellites. We have the best railway networks, we have the best railway signaling systems. Best ISRO is the 6th best space aviation agency in the world. And we have been to the Mars on the first time. So there are engineers, there is quality, but that is not enough to lift and solve the localized problem. We are not able to solve the problem of water, we are not able to solve the problem of agriculture, rapid development disguised in the name of technology growth, which is purely dependent on outsourced money. You cannot develop a country. That's why this short-term growth of 30 years has crumbled now. And that is what we are seeing today in India. From outside, it looks very fantastic. I don't want to go into pedagogy because she can talk a lot about pedagogy. But engineering pedagogy requires a different kind of methodology. That's what I took it the reference from David Call, one of the leaders, world leaders in terms of engineering pedagogy. Specifically, a couple of papers. The apprehension method is what majority teachers find. Incompetency reflects in terms of teaching also. Because they are also the graduates who come from the same engineering colleges. So they become teachers. And India is a country where you can buy a PhD. Like some of the private universities in US and Europe, they do. Same thing happens in India. So majority of the PhD is not up to standard. Except a couple of IITs and IIS in Bangalore. That's one of the major problems. And I don't want to go into the details of knowledge sharing, pedagogy. But I can give a simple example of what we lack in India. For example, VLSI or chip design became a major industry in India. Again, it nosedived. Cadence and Synopsys are in Noida. Most of my students are there here nearby. Cadence and Synopsys, they become fabless, but they are not able to go to the next level. We are not able to invent a new kind of transistor or FinFET, which comes from US or Intel Labs or IBM. Why can't we do that? Then we can have real technology, real core strength. Yeah. So what has happened in our business model is, instead of going from this, we went to this. So this is totally missing in yours. Totally missing this. There is no this research and development R&D based product. We don't sell X-ray machines in Europe. Europeans sell us X-ray machines, MRIs, or switch technology. In the name of globalization, any country which leads in cutting-edge technology is the world leader. And if they are able to share with their population, it's better. So this is the patent filed in India in 2010, and what happened in India. So I'll just conclude it. We have only 5 Nobel Prizes, comparative analysis, number of Nobel Prizes for populations. Okay, this is the group I represent. So these are the colleges we are running, and invested in my research as private investor. Very few do it in India. And we have a research lab, 20,000 square feet. We have employed 70
What is different in your education system? What is lacking presently?
Yeah, so what we do, if a student comes at a postgraduate level, for example, master's, it's more like you just teach 6 fundamental subjects. Yeah. And then he's put on a project on day 1, and he's being well paid. Most important, you don't need to pay money to get a degree. If you have talent, you get a stipend anywhere in the world. That's very important. Yeah. So apply. Yeah.
Did you? I'm not sure I understood the concept here. Did you say that you think that the language itself, if they're not using English and they're using, say, Hindi, do you think the language itself contributes to a greater
flexibility? Knowing multiple languages is good for your brain cells, neurons, because plasticity of the neurons increases. Neurons basically conductivity of ions, calcium, potassium, and chlorine. So that because of the plasticity, you can can have more languages, more work
Oh,
for
yes.
everybody.
For the student, you mean?
For anybody for the matter. Because 20 years ago you would have believed in neuron dies. But today we cannot say that. Neuron grows, regrows. If you are able to meditate, if you have to repower it, you can actually extend the life of a neuron.
Right.
That's one of my core area of research, that we can extend the lifetime of a neuron and we can regenerate the neurons. So knowing multiple languages is good,
Yes.
but the first language that you hear from your mother or the mother tongue,
Yeah, okay.
that is where you start dreaming, that is
Yes.
where you think creatively. Because academic intelligence is structured intelligence. And invention comes with creativity.
So you're saying that they should use the mother tongue.
More.
That helps
More.
with being more innovative and
More thinking.
getting
Yes,
more
100%.
abstract ideas.
For example,
But,
the number of English coaching centers in India itself is $1 billion business.
yeah, I know.
If there was no IT service industry, or if you don't need to learn that language, where the master is speaking English, I don't need to learn that language. Japanese don't do that. To sell their product, they learn Japanese. Or English, I'm sorry.
Right.
Germans learn English. I
Right.
spent all my 15 years in Germany. They learn English only to sell their products.
Right.
But complete education is in German. And they have parallel education in English also. The student is free to decide. The student has the flexibility to decide. We don't force him to learn multiple languages. The freedom of choice is a basic factor in determining how we think, how we evolve.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking I'm not a scientist.
I don't know.
I was thinking the language of science should be above our. Don't you scientists communicate in numbers and other things? Isn't the language
Like
of
music
science
has-
more international?
For music, no language. Similarly, science has no language. But,
That's a very
but the
interesting
thought
thing.
process, science has no language.
Yeah.
I can start with the quantum physics equations, origin, independent equation, go on for hours, talk about the instability, and I can connect it to an Indian system. For example, you take an Indian system of philosophy, Eastern philosophy, what you call it,
Right.
West. You take an atom, break it, electron, proton, neutron. You break the proton, you get quarks, up, down, stage, bottom, 6 types out. You break the quarks, you get colors, quantum chromodynamics. You break the colors, you get energy, E is equal to mc squared. But that is when you take a material perspective. Western science starts with material perspective to energy. And Eastern science starts with shunya, nothingness. From energy to material perspective. It's a two different approach to the same problem. Quantum mechanics is more metaphysical at certain level. Being a physics student, being an engineer and a physicist, I can easily tell that. Very clearly I can tell that. Quantum physics is a refined form of metaphysics, I would say. For example, a Schrodinger cat problem. You don't know where it is, but still you believe it is there. It's a kind of probability theory. But what is that is, science has no language. But your brain, your cognition, the ability to talk, the ability to think, is basically based on the first syllable sound you hear from your mother, mother's womb. Because our brain is active, it grows from the third week.
Yes.
The third week it grows, the brain expands in the third week. So basically the language that works in your cerebrum and the cerebellum is responsible for the thought process you have all along your life. That's a beauty.
Thank you, Rabinder. I think we can continue with the discussion. We started late, so we will continue after the session. But I'd like to ask Amit,
Download some.
No, I will copy it.
you can just use it. You can use it off the pen drive only, na?
Yeah.
Amit? Just put your pen drive and you can.
Thank you.
So I'm not criticizing. I'm only.
Oh, no.
I'm not criticizing India also. What I'm saying is you concentrated 30 years in service industry. It's time to invest in science and
But
technology.
he's got a very relevant point. Because I know
If
how you
you
young
go to-
boys think about their engineering education, and it's really big
Indian parents
question in
know
our
only
country
medicine and engineering.
Because
See, we export 1.2 lakhs research every year to US. We are the second largest revenue generated for American universities. But not all are great.
So you're saying just jump ahead.
You have money,
You'll
you
be
have
okay.
knowledge. That's
Yeah.
illogical.
That's right.
That's
It works fast and stable.
It won't last.
That's
That is
I
one of the
have
reasons why
to-
the software industry collapsing today in India, because it's service
you
based.
want to
Master
know
teams
this
a project.
We've got this laptop
Yes.
back.
You have an account in Citibank in America or Europe. I sit in Noida, Gurgaon and call and check out the backend problem. That backend problem can be solved by software itself today. Machine learning ML can go in and out of it.
So tell me, while he's setting this up, what do you think India can do to address?
Yes, they are already doing enough. But the problem is, see, the last slide, but I can show you. Basically, any developed economy, whether it's US or Europe or anywhere for that matter, you have a manufacturing 30%, product R&D 30%, service 30%. If these three are not balanced, you can never ever become a developed country.
So you have to balance.
The problem with China is total concentration of manufacturing, 20% in R&D, negligible service. In India, the problem is 60% on service, less than 10% R&D, and 30 to 40% on manufacturing. We are a very good manufacturing country for a long time, from Tata times. So now the situation, because the jobs are being lost in the market, the government is a little more serious.
They'll figure it out.
You just Google job loss in India in last 2 weeks. You will see from CGS.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, I saw on the paper.
Because that service, you are the master, you are giving a project for less cost because I'm a cheap labor, not an intellectual labor.
Yeah.
My intellectual labor is already exported in brain drain.
That's right.
But the masses who are not supposed to become engineers become engineers.
Yeah.
Those are not supposed to become a doctors become doctors. Who are not supposed to become a scientist become
So
scientists.
I would like to add to what you're saying. I believe India is about the talent in our hands. The masses is about the talent, the creativity in our hands. And we've lost that, we're not using that. Everybody's trying to use the brain, saying that is where it gives you respect. And we're not using our hands, we're not manufacturing because it's looked down upon.
For example, a software engineer or a BPO guy is respected more in India than a very good jeweler.
So
whose
that's
design is
exactly
more
what I'm
intricate,
saying.
More mathematically wonderful
Yeah.
person. We have got for thousands of years.
So we need to go back to craft-based and manufacturing and treat that as much respect, and that has to go up.
Yeah, it's the idea of this creative mind. I mean, it's the same thing in the U.S. We have, we're so focused on these material pieces and the attainment of degrees that the quality lacks any creativity. Or, like, for example, we have no soft skills. Our engineers, nobody wants to hire them because they can't socialize.
Yeah. So
right? They're just
science,
right?
Yeah.
You see, the education system, the university system should contribute skilled labor, intellectuals, philosophers, and managers, innovators, discoverers. It's a whole spectrum. I can show you this slide how it is built around the world. So the top bottommost is the philosophers, ideators, who create ideas. You don't need to have degrees. He can be a cobbler on the roadside. He can be a servant in a hotel. He creates ideas. Abraham Lincoln was not a great guy. He was just a. That's right. But these ideas are beyond thing, but that is being implemented to law. That's what I think. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Okay, so Amit, would you like to introduce yourself before you start?
Sure.
Because I don't know much about you.
Sure.
But,
Thank you so much, first of all, Human Economic Forum for hosting this wonderful, giving all of us opportunity to be here. So my name is Amit Das. I've been into education for last almost 10 years now. So I was on the founding team members of a company which started online platform for connecting colleges and students in the year 2007. We increased from 0 to 120 member team and 2 rounds of investment. Recently it got acquired by Aon Hewitt. We work with close to 2,500 institutes in India, connecting them online so that they can be better visible amongst corporates. Post that, I joined Monster.com, heading the virtual campus in Southeast Asia to remove logistical difficulties in going to a job fair physically. So there will be go online, give her interviews. That was virtual job fair. Post that, I joined Young Global Leaders of World Economic Forum for an initiative called Lead Lab Leadership Forum, which was promoting entrepreneurship in the remotest of places of India, social entrepreneurship. Right? And in the journey, I started my own firm, which is 83 Global Ventures, which is basically a global consulting firm aiming to provide at least exposure to students across India so that there is parity in terms of quality and content and curriculum. So this is what we're doing. Right? So I think Professor Henry was very clear in terms of mentioning what Indian education has gone through in the last decade, right? But I'll show you some better picture of India also. So there are pros and there are cons. So let me show you some of the better pictures already there.
Side fair.
So I think I'll come to what the problem statement is, where India is, and probably I'll go to, this is a vision platform. Okay, this is not specific to any company, what should be done, what should the vision for transforming education towards made in India, right? So I think there are close to 523 universities in India, right? 523 universities in India, close to 15,000 colleges right now in India. It's a huge ecosystem, and highest number of technical pass-outs from India happen each year, right? That is one form, one phase of education. Second phase being, India as a startup country is growing very strongly. So if you consider India is third in the world in the number of startups which has come up, right? And third in terms of the volume of business which is startup is gaining in the last few years, right? So there is a gap. So I feel if we relate the current Indian education system and startup ecosystem, these are two dimensions. One, the education which is bottom of the pyramid, huge volume. Second, there is startup, right? And startup needs competitive edge, startup needs global exposure, startup needs technical expertise to grow. And there is a gap where we need to fill it. So what should be the vision? Vision should be to connect every student to latest technologies and open global opportunities. This should be the first vision which I feel is very important for us to think through. They should be connected to latest technologies and given global opportunity. Students from top universities like IT and the IIMs get global exposure. They have a good alumni base. They have a good network to see through. Students from tier 3, tier 4 cities don't have that edge. So for us, very important for partners like you to lay down a platform so that they can at least think through, get access to latest technologies. It's also about bringing students inside a community, more closure. Students from South India can connect to North India connect to East India, Northeast connecting to, say, mainland. Right? Very important for us to give them a platform so that they can connect on a common platform. And it's very important for them to be heard, not about learning also, but for them to be heard. They can have ideas from anybody. So I recently read a post where a 14-year-old guy has started his own company, he became a billionaire, right? He's a school dropout, right? So it's very important for us to give them a platform to be heard. They can go to their professors, their faculties, and they can probably say that is an idea, and they get dozed off, right? So there should be a platform for them to be heard. So the current technical, if you consider the current technical mechanisms in India are broken. It's completely shattered, as Professor Henry mentioned last decade. Primarily due to four strong reasons. First is the government policy of granting university rights. So anybody or everybody who has a land, 10 acres of land in India with some capital can start a university, right? Without having a very strong, educational checkup about his back, whether he's a politician, he's a criminal, he's an industrialist, or he's really an educationist. So there has been a policy flaw in terms of increase in number of engineering colleges in India. Right? In the year 2000 to 2010, close to 5,000 engineering colleges have started. Can you imagine? Majority of the engineering colleges have started in the last 10 years. And we speak about education 100 years old or 150 years old. It takes time for education to grow. So there has been a policy flaw. And this policy flaw is decentralized in nature. It's not centralized in nature. Decentralized, I mean every state has their own rights of starting university. Though common policy boards like AICT or UGC is managing the ecosystem, but every state has a quota of starting an engineering college. Right? So anybody with 10 acres of land, some money can start a college. So there is a big flaw. Second is the curriculum. So how is curriculum being defined in India? Right? Curriculum is defined basis. So curriculum changes are not frequent. Curriculum changes are not, as per industry needs. The curriculum changes are not basis international exposure or future forecast. So curriculum has been defined per state, India-wide, and it is being followed year on year. Right? Repetitively, it has been followed year on year without any change. It includes theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. So if you see, theoretical knowledge comprises of almost 60-70%. Practical awareness is only restricted to lab facility available in colleges. Right? It's not open to they going out in industries and all, which happens, but in very minuscule amount because there are logistics issues of them carrying to a university and all. And it needs broader participation from companies also to come into this practical exposure of right? Third is the faculty. So faculty job, I'm not offending anybody, but faculty jobs are getting more easier. So you have a degree, you have a technical degree, you did your BE, you did your ME, you did your PhD, you can apply for a job and you get handsomely paid because 6-pay commission or 7-pay commission, the faculty remunerations have increased a lot. So faculty, not by their own passion, but by the seek of employment has grown. So many colleges, they need number of faculties, minimum number of faculties to be there in their institute to get approved by certifying bodies. So faculty quality is not same across India. Within the college also, there's a huge gap. There will be certain top degree faculties and then there's a huge segment of not so good faculties. Right? And third is a platform. So I feel government has been doing good in terms of lately coming up with initiatives like hackathon, conducting mass level hackathons wherein people can code, they can perform, they can generate their ideas into social impactful apps. Right? But there's no a body called PPP, which is like public-private partnership model. So either it is purely government or purely private. We need to find a way wherein government and public sector, private sector collectively conduct some initiatives like hackathon, which has been recently been conducted. Right? At the same time, I feel government of India, there are two. So I'll just take a very different example. There's a national channel called Doordarshan, and there's a national television channel called Doordarshan, which is Indian government official channel, and there's a national telecom provider called BSNL. Both are not doing good. That means government is not thinking like an entrepreneur. The private players which has come up, they have taken over Doordarshan, they are taking over BSNLs, and they are growing. That means there's a need to get into more PPP models in India. Right? So it results in, I think, significant lag in the current learning process. It is unstructured, there is no feedback mechanism, it is cluttered, it is unorganized, non-scalable, loss of information, no engagement. It's actually unsecured right now. So I think there are two important aspects for us to consider. One is the return on time. How much return we are getting on time we invest in learning a technology from student aspect. Right? Whether he is investing time on the right technology, right learning processes, or it's like wasting his time. So return of time is something which is very crucial, which we need to focus. And humanizing. So I think there's a lack of humanizing aspect. So we need to humanize more to generate ideas. And there's no common platform for that in India. So I think current, addressable Indian market is huge in terms of schools and colleges. You see, so these are the numbers in front of you in India, right? And this is huge. So 40,000 colleges, 23 million students, 32,500 graduate colleges, 21 million students, 4,000 MBA colleges, 1.5 million students. So we're talking of millions, and without focusing quality. Yeah, I'll take you through different articles now.
Amit, we have just 10 minutes.
Sure.
The key is that what do you think we should do to change the existing system? You can summarize that because I don't want to not hear your key message for this discussion.
So here is something which we have taken up recently as a project for Indian education system. So we have. I'm recently, probably in the last 2 years, we have been working on a project called VR, virtual reality, with Germans, right? Bringing in German knowledge for Indian students, technical knowledge for Indian students, and this can be possible through VR, virtual reality program. So this video will help you understand what technology can do and how we can knowledge transfer from developed economy to a place like India and make it more relevant for students.
Revolutions the learning as well. Via the internet, everyone has access to global knowledge on every aspect and any detail. Mostly, this knowledge is presented in a very traditional, static way. A professor holds his lectures, shows his PowerPoints, and that's it. With new technologies, we can open a new chapter of digital learning. With new technologies, I'm speaking of virtual reality and augmented reality. Of course, you can find these technologies already very common in research and development departments and in the gaming industry. But right now, it finds its way into the education and learning environment. And that's why I'm here at our state-of-the-art virtual environment studio here in Berlin, where we bring German knowledge with engineering content to the global world. Made in Germany is a worldwide known brand for a wide range of products. This success is based on the capabilities of German engineers, and their education is based on German knowledge. Here, with our academy, we have access to the best German experts coming from academia and industry as well. We invite renowned professors from the German Academy of Engineering, from Institute of Technologies, university and colleges, research institutes like Fraunhofer, like Max Planck, into our studio to explain their knowledge, to explain their latest findings in technology and education. On the other hand, we have access to German industry. For example, the automotive industry, which renowned partners such as BMW, Mercedes, Porsche or Volkswagen, where we can get their real case, their application in combination with the theory from our academia partners. With our professional film team and our educational specialists, we can ensure that our format is very attractive and easy to learn. We call this format edutainment, which means we do entertain, but we informate as well. To get your short impression, please take a look at the following video, which explains a little bit our new technology. I wish you fruitful discussion further on and hope to see you on the next occasion. A lot of greetings from Berlin to Hong Kong. Thank you and bye-bye.
You can compare it with ice water. Ice in water is always stable with 0 degrees, and only if the ice is melted, then the temperature can be raised or reduced.
Our motto is to find a balance between productive profitability on the one hand and environmental as well as social sustainability on the other.
Capability of importing 3D models directly from engineering software file formats allows the students and the experts from around the world to view and discuss details of machines. You can take models from engineers, scientists, automakers, etc., bring them into the studio, take them apart and see what makes them tick.
This leads us, of course, to a model where we can think about, is this possible for all other areas as well? Is it possible to to reduce all these long distances and bring together living areas, private areas, but also the professional areas.
All right, so now we're projecting the i3 into the studio so we can talk about this model, which is actually probably a good example for an outside application, full application of an entire product where the battery is the centerpiece. Yes?
Today it's maybe a little bit difficult to understand because
So I think this gives you a glimpse of what can be done. We need to make this world smaller to grow bigger. So use of technology in terms of joint faculty programs, bringing labs to remotest of places through technology by not investing too much, right? Helping students understand from peers, from researchers across the globe is the future. So I think this is the best format to go forward by removing all barriers of logistics. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amit. Would you have any questions for Amit before we close the session? Anybody?
Do you think women are you getting more women involved in the, or do you think that cognitively they have anything different to offer?
We don't have to be gender biased to make growth. Women are very active in India in terms of entrepreneurship. They're enjoying government attention also right now. So we don't have to gender bias, it has to be equal. And I feel they're equally involved. Yes, the need of more number of students, female students going to schools has to increase. More number of female candidates going for graduation has to increase. This is somewhere we need to focus. But overall, I feel that we don't have to be gender biased.
So to add on to this particular idea, so normally what happens is, if I talk about the remotest places in India, so most of the girls do not get an opportunity to go to urban areas, say not to, they do not go to Delhi or say Mumbai to kind of learn new technology. So for them, I think it's a very beneficial tool where they can actually learn the entire piece sitting in any of the remotest areas in the world and kind of explore what can and kind of add value to their businesses. So I think this is a perfect tool to kind of empower women as well in India.
Thank you so much, Amit. You have a question?
Yes, one question for you. Last question.
So, Amit, from a technology perspective, as we are looking at the change, can you give us some indication on the cost aspect? That would be interesting to look at. So, how much does it cost to set up something like this in Indian universities? Yeah.
So production and consumption are different issues, but I feel the cost of receiving or consuming in India will be very, very low because of internet bandwidth, penetration of smartphones right now in India. I don't feel the cost will be inflation. Close to, you can say, 600 rupees or 700 rupees per course, right, which is much low. Cost of setting up a lab in India includes some cost, but that has to be revived through ROI mechanisms. How an university is able to produce course and deliver with Indian professors and international professors working together. So that's something is a different topic we can sit talk on this. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Amit. I'd like to thank Amit and Rabinder for coming over today. I think for a limited audience, we really had a very good session, very informative, and whoever would like to meet them, please meet them offline now because the next session starts. Thank you so much.
Group photograph.
Group photograph, Rabinder, please come. Please come. Take a
Dr. Shini, why did you come? We need your presence.
Actually, I missed your talk.
Yeah, so we should be in photograph at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
happy to see you continue.
Yeah, sure.
How is it going? Good?
Chayanika. That's Charu.
Chayanika, I will be taking us through the session. Thank you.
I was there in Delhi also for lunch. Oh, so you could have come. Yeah. Okay. Chalo. See you soon.
Take one seat forward. Come, Bhavi.
So already Vandana is going to start. So, do we have everybody's attention here? Can we start? Okay, Okay, good afternoon everybody. Thank you so much for coming on time. This is brilliant, and I think we have a lot of takers for your session, ma'am, because I think they've experienced what you did 2 days back. So today is going to be an interesting session where Chayanika is going to actually take us through a session on past life regression. And before we take you through that, because I've never been through this, so I would be worried. So what's happened here is Dr. Vandana, who has gone through the session before, is going to talk about what she went through to give us the comfort of what session we're going to have with Chayanika. So I think that's brilliant because it puts us all at comfort. It would be great that we concentrate on the two ladies because so Charu is here to sum up because she'd like to experience it like all of us, and she'd like to then share her feedback again of what the session was like. So I leave the board right now to the two wonderful ladies, and then Charu will take over. Thank you. This is the old presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Vandana Chadha. I run a school in a city called Allahabad. But this topic has always interested me, and there was a quest for knowing what is my life's purpose. And that's how I went on this journey of getting a few regression sessions done, because in my daily life I could not analyze. I was a successful businesswoman, a good mother, a good wife, but there was still something inside me saying this is not what I was supposed to be here for. So on that quest, I went across and found some people who could help me and went through regression therapy. I went through many past lives. In this lifetime, I was an acute asthmatic, which started at about age 16 or 17. One day I woke up and I was choking. It turned out to be bronchial asthma. And in my childhood, I used to also have a lot of cough and cold problems. And when I was going through these sessions, I realized that I had been drowned many times, I had burnt to death in a lifetime, and there were so many other things that were leading to this asthma. The asthma got better. Definitely, I was in a better state now. About 70% of it is gone. Some of it is still there, so I guess I need to go through some more lifetimes. But here I would like to share a story with you of this person whom I met through one of these sessions. We were going through actually a 2-day training workshop, and where we are guided through the whole procedure, and everyone sees their own things, because when you're doing a group meditation, everyone goes to the point where they need to learn something. It is just learnings that come to us of our soul. So at a random partnership level, I met a gentleman who said, okay, will you be my partner? I said, yeah, fine, let's be partners in this. And we were supposed to exchange some objects that we had used for at least 6 months. So I took his watch, he took my ring, and we started meditating. And suddenly I started crying and telling him, why did you betray my trust? You killed me. Why did you do this? You had no right to do this. I loved you so much. And in that lifetime, I saw that I was a 16-year-old girl somewhere at the banks of Lake Titisee in the Black Forest of Germany. And I had a white frock on, pink shoes, pink ribbons in my hair. There was a pink bow, I remember. Little pink flowers all over my frock was the print. And I'm waiting eagerly, skipping around near that lake, waiting for this boyfriend of mine to come. He's a German soldier. He comes up, and we're very happy to be together. And the next instant I saw that I am near this place where there's a well, somewhere on top of a mountain, some isolated place, and he picks up his shoe and pushes me down the well. And I fall into the water. And as I am drowning, my dying thought is, this is not fair, but I have to let go. There's no way that I can live. I've tried to come out of the well. It's not possible. For many hours I was in the water. My hands and feet gradually became very cold. And then I die. I see the silver light coming for me. And I die. So when I accused this gentleman, he was quite upset initially. And then he kept on saying, please forgive me. I'm sorry if I did something to you. I don't know about it. I'm really sorry I did something to you. And he was apologetic throughout that first day. That night he says he could not sleep. The next morning he recounted what he felt. So he could not sleep, and he said, I went into meditation to see, what did I do to you that you cried so much and you blamed me because I was feeling really bad that you're blaming me. So what he saw was that he was actually a soldier, and he is in the battlefield during the World War, and then a stray bullet hits him on his temple, and his dying thought was, I shouldn't have betrayed her trust. It wasn't nice. And he died. Then he went further back into his own past of the current life, and he said, ever since he was a kid, he used to get these headaches. Very bad ones in his temple, and he had to be hospitalized every few months for them. The medicines never worked, and it took 3-4 days for him to come out of that trauma. And he would come home after that. Finally, a doctor suggested, why don't you go for some past life regression sessions? That might help you. So he went in for that. And after I went home 2 months later, I called up the gentleman and asked him, I said, how are you feeling? What about your headaches? He said, I haven't had them. Before coming here, last Sunday I gave him a call. I said, it's 4 years now. Can I please use this story to guide people and tell them that it is a harmless way and a beautiful way to get rid of all the problems? And can I use your name and talk about it? He says, yeah, sure. I said, what about your headache? He says, I've completely forgotten about it. Now, that is the beauty of this therapy. Likewise, my daughter had some health issues. They were cleared up. My other daughter had some issues with her father. From her very childhood, they were anti each other. Absolutely loggerheads. He would say east, he would say west. It just went on. And I was being pulled in both directions. And then the elder daughter came with me for one of these 2-day sessions, and she went through a lifetime where she was a small boy and he was the father, living somewhere in Scotland. They had a farm where they used to have milk cows, and they would milk the cows and take all that milk down the hill into the town in barrels and supply it. So he is helping his father, this 7-8-year-old boy, take the milk cans down to town in their old truck, rickety truck. As they're going down the hill, the father loses his concentration on the road and they go down the cliff. And the boy's dying thought was, I wish you had been more careful. We won't have died. So that was what her soul took from that lifetime and brought here. And she would say, hey, Papa doesn't understand. He just doesn't understand. His psyche became such because the soul had suffered. Maybe his dying thought had been something different, or maybe I should have been careful. So in this lifetime, he was extra careful with her and would stop her at everything and say, don't do it. You'll get hurt. I said, he doesn't let me do anything. What is this? He's always telling me, don't do it, don't do it. I get very irritated with that. The moment she saw that incident, she realized what had happened. Their relationship changed. They're the best of friends now. In the early years, my husband used to love my younger daughter. Anything she said, she was his absolute queen who would get away with anything. She's sitting right here. And then suddenly the focus shifted. Now it's the elder one who's his soulmate and he shares everything with her. So the power of this thing is beautiful. It's like a movie going in front of your eyes. It does not affect you physically, but it removes the problems that you have. And by the end of it, when you come out of it, you feel really nice and light. So I'll hand over to Chayanika now. She'll try and take us through one session.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your experience, Vandana.
Can I do the slides because we keep talking?
We will not have much time. I'll just explain it. So how many of y'all have actually had experience of past life? Okay. That's...
I have tried many times.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
We tried, but never
Okay.
got it.
That's okay.
But
That's
still
okay.
there is my big question.
Yeah.
How do you find the regressionist?
I am a past life regression therapist.
Yeah, but are you in Delhi?
No, I'm in Calcutta. But there are many in Delhi.
There are many in Delhi.
also.
I have found. You just
We'll take it
type
offline.
it online.
Yeah.
She'll find one right now.
So just very briefly summing up why a person needs to come for past life. So see, when you have tried everything in your life, they say there is a pain or there is fear or there is something which is troubling you in your current life. You've tried everything. You've gone to a psychiatrist, you've gone to doctors, maybe there is a physical pain, whatever it could be. But you are not able to logically comprehend as to why is it there. So the answer a lot of times is there in you. If the problem is in your mind, the solution also has to be in your mind only. It cannot be in my mind or anybody else's mind. The solution also has to be in your mind. So in these kind of sessions, these are very deep sessions which take you into your subconscious. So it is like a trance, but yet you are very aware, you are completely aware of what is going on. It is like tapping subconscious where there is information of past, present and future. You have all the information over there. That is why we say the subconscious is so powerful. That is also the seat of intuition. So it is like, when you are not getting any answers, you come for these kind of sessions and you go into your own sacred journey, discovering yourself, finding out what is there inside you, what are those beliefs which are limiting you, what are those emotions which maybe you have denied or buried deep down or not acknowledging, which needs to be acknowledged. So a lot of release also happens. These are very intensive sessions. I don't want an intensive session. I don't want all of you all ending up with crying. So I'm going to try to take you to a very pleasant experience, maybe a glimpse of that life where you had some kind of talent or skill or some kind of thing which you might require now in your current life. So I would like to take you all to that, or maybe if not that comes to you, something which is important for you right now to know. So be in the process. Don't use your logical mind. Don't make any judgments. Don't be critical. Don't use any critic on your mind. Don't analyze. Just be in that experience. And it is not necessary that you have to see everything like you see in a movie. Many people are not visual, but they can just feel it or sense it. So right now if I ask you all to close your eyes and just see yourself sitting on a chair. So when you do that, when you close your eyes and see yourself sitting on a chair, most of y'all may not be getting the visual image of yours, right? Maybe, but you get the feeling that you're sitting. You're just getting some kind of impression that you're sitting. So that is also fine. It is the information that your mind is giving to you right now, which is more important. So, are you all ready for the session? Yes? Shall I start? And it's okay. Even if nothing happens, you don't go through it. A lot of times, first time, it does not happen. That is also fine. But definitely some kind of information or impressions or a knowing would happen for you. Acknowledge that because that is important for you. So don't use your logical mind. Just go with the experience. Yes, please start with the music. Slow it down. Sit very comfortably as you can, with your eyes closed. Just relax yourself as much as you can. This is your moment, your experience, and the journey of your mind. So be with it. And as you close your eyes, take a deep breath. Focus on your breath. Inhale this beautiful energy, cosmic energy, which is all around us. And exhale any stress, any tension, anything that needs to be released. Just release it. And as you do so, allow yourself to go deeper. Your mind becoming calm and your physical body relax. Going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Allow your scalp to relax, your forehead, your beautiful face, your throat, shoulders, a lot of times our shoulder carries a lot of burden, a lot of responsibilities. Just become aware of all the responsibilities, burden that you're carrying, and release it. Going still deeper, allowing your chest, stomach, abdomen muscles, thighs, knees, calf muscles, and your toes. Just let go, release, and relax. And now, imagine this beautiful, universal, cosmic, healing, loving, soothing light falling from above on to your head, healing each and every cell, muscle, tissue, and fiber, and percolating down through your face, throat, shoulders, heart, your beautiful heart, which is so much full of divine love, healing it and coming down to your stomach, abdomen, going down to your thighs, your knees, your calf muscles, percolating still down to your ankles, heels, and toes. Allow each and every cell, each and every muscle, fiber, tissue, organ to relax and be healed with this beautiful divine energy. Let this light heal any part, any organ of your body that requires healing now. And as you do so, just allow yourself, your consciousness, to take you to a beautiful garden. This is a very beautiful spiritual garden, sacred garden, like a heaven, with so many beautiful plants, trees, flowers, all around you. Feel any sounds, any chirping of the birds, fragrance. Allow your senses to take you through the pleasantry of this beautiful garden. Just relax and find a spot and lie down. And as you lie down in this beautiful garden, allow yourself to let your mind take you back to a childhood time where something pleasant happened for you, something that you remember, so that you will know later on when you go to a past life as to how is it to feel or experience the experience. So go back to a childhood time, a happy moment in your life. And when you go back to that childhood time, become aware, what are you wearing? How do you look like? How old are you? Are there people around you? Why has your mind chosen this particular experience for you, which is so beautiful and so happy and so pleasant? Just experience this beautiful, happy moment. Go through every detail. What is happening? Who is there? What has happened exactly? Also become aware, why is this moment so important for you to see now in this session? And now, allow your mind to take you further back in time, to a time when you were in your mother's womb. How do you feel? How do you feel? Any physical sensations? Any impressions? Any emotions that your consciousness may be picking up, which may be that of your mother or your father? Just become aware about it, experience it. You may also experience this as an observer. If you do not wish to experience it in the womb, and it's fine, it's okay. And now as I count from 1 to 3, you're going to come out. The baby that you were. 1, 2, 3, now. The pure no tension, no stress, not to worry how to earn or perform, nobody to judge you, full of divinity. State that experience and allow your mind, your consciousness to take you through a corridor now. And as you pass through this corridor, and as I count from 5 down to 1, go deeper and deeper into your sacred space, which is very, very safe and very, very secured. This is a very safe and secured space. Go on deeper and deeper, and you will come across a doorway. And across that doorway is a beautiful, divine light from the universe. And across that is a scene or a person or an experience from your past life. As I count from 5 to 1, following my instructions, open the door. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can see this divine universal light. And across that light, you can get a glimpse of some scene, person, situation, or experience from a past which is very pleasant. It could be a past life where you were very talented, you were skilled, or there is something very important for you to learn. And now, as I count from 5 to 1, you are going to join yourself to that scene or person and become that past life. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. So, you are this past life. Look at this past life. You are that past life now. Become aware of yourself. What are you wearing? What is the footwear? How do you look like? What is this place like? And as I count from 1 to 5, your skill, your talent. It's very important for you because this is what you're going to also integrate in your present life. Or something that you need to know, something which is important for you. Stay in this experience. Become aware of your talent. And now, as I count from 1 to 5, you will go to the last day of that life, the end of that life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, become aware. What are your dying thoughts? What are your dying feelings? Are there people around you? How did you die? What exactly happened? And now as I count you from 1 to 5, allow your consciousness to just float above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allow your consciousness to just float above. And as you look down, become aware, was there any lesson to learn in that life? What was the talent that or skill that you had? Is there any connection of that past life to the current life? Become aware of this connection. And now allow any ascended master, spiritual guide, or a loving soul to come to you to receive you. And as this happens, again, don't judge, don't criticize, don't use any logic. Just take in the information. Listen to the message that this master has to give to you, which is important for you in this life. Any message that is important for you in this current life, take that message. What is the learning? You can take that message telepathically or by visuals or by sign language, but you'll get the message. And now, allow your consciousness to come back to this beautiful garden, into your body where you were lying down. And as I count from 1 to 5, allow your consciousness to be integrated into your physical body, feeling fine, fresh and relaxed, rejuvenated, feeling good, happy, joyful and peaceful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just come back to your body. And whenever you are ready, stretch your arms and open your eyes. Some people came late, that's also okay. Take your time. There's no hurry. Taking all the information, all the healing. And whenever you're ready, very gently open your eyes. Give a lot of love to your body. Gently touch your body. With a lot of love. So how was the experience? How many of you all did actually get any glimpse of your childhood time? Wow, that's quite a number. Okay, that's okay. So your body relaxed, that's fine. You're looking so relaxed. Huh?
I remembered myself when I was not even a year old.
Okay. So what happens is our mind carries a lot of experience from the past. And they could be pleasant experiences, they could be traumatic experiences. But because we are all eternal spiritual beings having human experiences, we carry a lot of cell memories. And whenever there are any situations or people who seem familiar to us or places where we say we are getting deja vu feelings, so whenever something triggers for us or we hear something which has happened in the past, so something triggers for us, and that is the time when it is your body needs attention, your mind needs attention. You need to go deeper into yourself, in your own mind, to understand what is happening to you. If you require any self-healing or if there are limiting beliefs in your mind, you need to become aware about them. There are programs running from so many past lives into us. And they are running from, so say there was a time in a past life where something happened where you wanted to take revenge or something. So there is a program running, I have to take revenge, I have to take revenge. And something similar happens in your life, current life. And it is the same program running. So there is so much of acceleration that happens of that program. And you do not know how to come out of it. So when you come for these kind of sessions, you start becoming aware of the programs that are running in your mind, which you need to release and reprogram your mind. Right? Any questions if you all have? Did anybody get a glimpse of past life? Did anybody get a glimpse of or even information about you being in your mother's womb or childhood time? Yes? Would you like to share? That's okay, that's fine. So this was experiential. Any questions if you all have? Maybe we can make it a little more interactive. I'm willing to answer, and then I'll ask her experience.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
And that is, now I'm very keen to know, to go back into regression to find out why there are issues in this life. When did they start, and if I know about them, then I'm going to be comfortable with them, right? So I'm sure you're doing past life regression workshops, and how many do you think one would have to take a minimum to be able to arrive at that point when there was a problem?
We carry problematic past in the form of undigested residues or unresolved shadows. And there could be many. It could be a time in the childhood, it could be a time in mother's womb, it could be life between life, it could be past life. So when a person comes to us for therapy for things like fear, phobias, it doesn't, I think one session is enough for the resolution of it. Because in such kind of sessions, you go back to the original activating event. And most of the times, one session is enough to take you deep down inside you, to understand, to get insights, to understand what are the programs running in your mind, and also to help you to do a lot of release of emotions that are pent up.
But does that one session heal you as well?
Of course. Because see, what happens is there is a lot of insight that comes to you. It is like mental, emotional, physical and spiritual catharsis. So it is not only healing at a mental level, but it is healing. Healing is happening at all layers. You get a lot of understanding about yourself, and your cells have been carrying a lot of memories in the form of trauma. So that gets released. And when that happens, you do feel light, you feel liberated, and something shifts inside you. And of course, this is a movement. This is like a movement of the soul. So a lot of times when a person, and also it is very subjective, this question that you ask, because it depends from person to person, how open and receptive the mind of the person is to come and take these kind of sessions. So,
and tell me, through your experience, do you think everybody who comes to you is able to go back and actually go back into regression and then again? Or are there cases that
yes,
because of God?
Okay. So most of the people who come to me, if I generally don't work with minds that are curious, I work with minds that actually have issues. That actually have issues in their life. So see, they are already in the trance of the problem, because the mind is always taking them to the problem that they are in. So when they come to us, our job is actually not to hypnotize them, our job is to take them out of that trance. And that is what we do. So people who come to us, something shifts in their life, and we take those kind of people who are open and receptive to it. And again, this is not the only therapy. There are so many healing modalities, depending upon the receptivity of the person, how deep the person can go, how much the person can take it. See, and also on a spiritual level, somewhere everything boils down to we have had so many lives, and not only as maybe victims, but also as perpetrators. So if you are a victim in this life, maybe there was a life when you are regressed further back, you will see there was a life when you were a perpetrator, when the whole thing originated from there. So you need to take that life also into consideration, to be in those shoes also, to understand.
Like you said,
yes.
You start being guilty if you've done something in your past as well. How do you look at that in this life?
So see, again, the past life is always connected to the current life. They are not disjointed. You only see those lives which have any connection to the issue that you have come with. So if the issue is about relationship, you most likely are going to see those lives where there have been relationship issues. If there is some kind of injury or fear, if there is some kind of fear, you are obviously going to see those lives. Say there is fear of height. So you are obviously going to see those lives where the reason of death was because of a fall from a cliff. If there is fear for water, you are most likely going to see those lives where a person drowned in the water.
But what if you drowned because of you, and then you feel guilty? Will you be able to tolerate that guilt feeling in this current life?
So
would that be an added?
I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat?
Let's say that you've done something wrong to somebody, and you get aware.
In the past life.
Yeah, in the past life, and you're getting aware in this life. Wouldn't that get the feeling?
So that only happens again, as I mentioned, that only happens when there is some connection in the current life as well. So say you are guilty as a mother, or there is something which has happened which is causing a little bit guilt. It is only then that you see that life which is connected to that, and you get a lot of answers from that life. And when you see those insights that you get from that life, they start making sense to you. There's a lot of understanding which happens in your mind.
But my question is that how do you deal with that guilt consciously now? You have to ask for forgiveness.
So,
You have to ask. That's
okay. So there is a lot of spiritual work also that happens. It is a process. It is a technique. There is a lot of understanding. All the healing is all the misunderstanding feelings and trauma are replaced by understanding and acceptance. And when understanding and acceptance happens, it is easy for you to forgive. I always tell my clients that till the time you think you have to forgive and forgiveness is coming from here, it's not going to happen. The forgiveness has to come from here. So when you go for these kind of sessions, actually forgiveness starts coming from here. And so it becomes easy for a person to resolve the issue.
I have a question. I was reading somewhere, or I heard they said that souls move in clusters. So like in your past, and you have certain births and rebirths. So whoever you have been associated in your past, only those souls connect to you in this?
Again, whatever is relevant to your issue will come. If the issue is to do with people in your life, current life, say your parents or your in-laws or your friends, then most likely you are going to see those past lives that they are also there. So it all has got to do with your issue.
Are you based in Delhi?
No, I'm based in Calcutta.
I would like to add
Yes.
to this. One second, please. Yeah. What I would like to say is that the people that you're talking about, those people come around us in some form or the other, but we also add on more people to the sphere because the soul is moving on from life to life to life. And the idea is for us to reach from here to there. The growth of the soul is required. So those issues which are left undealt with are the ones we keep dealing with each time. And that person in some form or the other will come into your life, maybe in another format, but will help you release that energy and solve the problem.
Absolutely. Because we incarnate as human beings, we incarnate on physical earth to learn lessons. And when we learn those lessons, then a lot of problems get solved for us.
So it's basically a mind game then?
It is not a game.
No, it's not a game.
It's not a
The brain
game.
has to be switched off.
That is why, in the session also, I was
and
saying,
your emotions have to
Can I just add to what she was saying? Basically, because I've gone through a lot of past life regressions, and there were issues which I could see in my, I spoke to my dead body in 1930. I mean, it's that clear. And you don't have the guilt because you're not attached to that thing. You have the feeling, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. You are watching it as a movie. But your thing is not attached to it because it's not you now. So you don't have any guilt, but you have a lot of understanding and the truth. And then you realize all this is just a pass. It's a beautiful thing to experience. Out-of-body experiences are like wonderful. Everybody, I think, should experience because you get a larger picture of the universe.
Yeah.
Like we are just here just for some reason which we need to do and just
There's
move
a
on.
lot of understanding which happens and acceptance becomes more easy for you.
So there's no guilt. It's always a positive thing.
I'm just scared of you.
Shall
then.
I call Charu to sum it up? Please share your experience as well.
Hi, I'm Charu, I'm MTech, and I'm MTech Computers. I have actually no association with past regression, and honestly, we had a clubbing of the session. But getting into the session was amazing. I mean, I experienced it for the first time, though I have heard about it a lot, and one of my friends has also gone through this therapy. But what I was actually supposed to be talking today was about subconscious mind, and I think somewhere it is related to past life regression. So I feel at the moment when I feel that it would be very risky, or I don't want to see what cruelty maybe I've done in the past life, or probably what in this life. I don't want to see that, but because with God's grace I'm in a very happy space, and I've been in a happy space. But I still feel that when you are still doing the past regression therapies, but at the same time, how subconscious mind and the present, for that you don't have to go to some therapies, it helps you. When you combine it with the past life, I think it can do multitude of wonders. So what actually I was when going through this, I think I just got into a refresh mode, and I got into a life where I think I'm seeing myself as a very smooth person at the moment. A very smooth life in times to come. Tomorrow I have to travel something, I think it'll be the best travel, But how I would like to relate it with subconscious mind, and how subconscious mind can heal you, along with, of course, the past life regression, is that subconscious mind is obviously the mind which is always training you. It is a mind which is going 24/7. Because in your body, when you're sleeping, your conscious mind is alive. Conscious mind is sleeping, right? Because it is what? It is touch, eat, hear, right? But what is subconscious mind? Subconscious mind is working like, how does heart know where to operate, how to operate? How does brain know that when you are eating your food, it has to move this hand? So the subconscious mind is a trained thing which God has put into you, which is doing all the functions in your body. Heart knows where to pump, how to go, where the blood has to go. So this mind, if you control this mind along with I don't know if I'm...
yes, you're right. It is like a tape recorder which never shuts up. So, it is always recording.
It is always recording. So the memories which I have today, and if I keep on repeating and visualizing these memories, that I want to have this gathering again, and probably with the same people, and I keep it visualizing every day, believe you me, it's gonna happen. It will happen. It is the same thing as I'm going to the market, I see, let's say, a Prada purse or probably any branded purse, whatever, and you say, I cannot buy this. I can never buy this because I don't think I'll be able to afford it ever. So your subconscious mind is kind of your slave. It's like a computer who doesn't think on its own. It works on what the conscious mind says, right? So your subconscious mind has taken that command from his boss that, yes, boss, you told me that you can never afford it. And now I will ensure that you can never afford it. And actually, because you have trained your subconscious mind that way, now you will never even get an opportunity to buy it, because the subconscious mind says that my master is saying that we can't afford it. So I have to work on that. So instead, if I would have said, hey, I'm going to buy this purse very soon, and I'll surely buy it, and I'll make sure I'm buying it soon. So he says, okay, boss, we're going to buy this. So your subconscious mind is going to start working that way, and it will help you. It'll start creating and interacting with cells that way. So that is why do we say you have to be positive? What is the logic behind it? There's nothing like some supreme power is come and there'll be sunlight on sunshine on you. No. You are training yourself. Even in sitting in a room alone, because it might sound silly that you say, I'll be a queen, I'll be ruling the world, or I'll be the best businesswoman, or I'll be the best entrepreneur, or best servicewoman. You talk to yourself every day. Your subconscious mind, repeatedly when you talk to it, it registers it, like a computer. If I feed in computer 25 into 27, it is only going to give me the answer of 25 into 27, because that's the command I have given to it. So even, when you get a cut on your body, how does it automatically heal itself? Who is healing itself? Your subconscious mind is healing itself. When I get a cut, how do I heal it? I don't do anything. My body automatically regenerates it. So that's the mechanism which has been feeded in our body already. That the subconscious mind knows that, okay, the body has got a cut, and this is my operation on it. This person is breathing oxygen, so this is my operation on it. So when I have got a wound or I meet with an accident and I say, I can never get cured, no matter how many medicines you take, your subconscious mind has registered what you have said. So say, yes, boss, we will ensure that you never get well. You see people saying that even if I and I'll be so kind to people, and why I can't see my son suffering like this. So she went through all the things and everything, and unfortunately her son can't think on the terms which she can order him. So he can't go through past life regression. The son can't go because he can't follow the instructions. So she went instead in the past life regression. So she said, and she crying, and she just got the answer, but she could not cure him. Reason being, the son has to go to this past life to get cured. So she was like, her answers were that they both are brother sisters in the past life, and it was somewhere there's a war or something, and somebody hits the brother on the head, and he's on the lap of the elder sister, and they love each other like anything, and he says, sister, I'm dying, but I don't want to leave you alone. Believe you me, I'm gonna be your son, I'm gonna be your blood whenever I'm born again. But I love you and I can't leave you. So that, that with that words, this guy dies with a wound on his head. And now he is the son of this lady with that problem still there. Now she doesn't know how to cure him, but yes, subconsciously she's every day seeing his son walking. She's seeing his son, visualizing that he's going to a university, he's going to a college, and he got through GD Goenka World School. And they don't take such kids, and he's been able to incorporate, though she's working on him, it's not that. But she said, I was told that you can, because he can't go through PASA, right? So she's visualizing that my son is he's working, he has an office, he has colleagues around, and that's happening because GD Goenka World School has taken over for the improvement of the child, and probably they'll be sending him abroad to such schools. So it's an example where I am an example. I was into teaching. I was a lecturer for the last 12 years, and in an engineering college. And besides that, I also had a coaching institute. But I would always see myself doing something independent, but I didn't know what. And when I did my engineering, when I did my MTech, websites were never there. Websites were never taught in the curriculum because website system was not in India that time, you know. So we just used to have a static website. So whatever I was doing was programming and stuff like that. So I would say programming is not my, something which interests me, and I've done computer engineering, what next? And I would always visualize myself doing something creative plus my education. And today I've started with 2 projects. I'm an entrepreneur of two projects since last 5 years. I've been working on them, but where I was visualizing myself, I think I am reaching somewhere there. And I could have never imagined. My family's like, how could you do website designing? Because you never learned it. But I learned it, I did not learn it by going to some institution now, but I have started learning on my own. I started reading books. But whatever I see, I was thinking of, honestly, I was thinking in another 1 year, I must get an award. I must get a recognition. And I was like, why would I get it in a way that, I have to do that big. So I would always visualize myself, when I used to watch news channels, they get those awards and everything. So I would always visualize myself on that. And I have experienced that. With God's grace, thanks to this organization as well. I'm going to America as well next week. So there also I'll be awarded. But it's not that, you have to work, but you start thinking positive about it. Even if you think, because I have to travel tomorrow, and it's like an early flight in the morning, I'm panicked because I love to sleep. So like, oh my God, it'll be a terrible flight. And the moment I'm saying that, it will turn into a terrible flight. It will turn because I am making, and my mind will say, I'm sure it's gonna be terrible. And if I say it's the best flight, I was about to miss one of my flights last week, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna love the journey. I'm gonna love the journey. And unfortunately, there was some kind of confusion at the desk, and they said, ma'am, there's some issue with the identity, and they said, I'm afraid you might not board the flight. I was like, what? I was like, I got chatted. What is this? I have to go. And somehow things came out, and I went to the business class because they had to adjust me whatsoever happened. And I was like, I was enjoying the flight because I am sure that I have to get into the best journey of my life. So wherever you go, just start imagining that it'll be the best meet of my life. It'll be the best meeting in my home. Somebody's coming as a guest to your house. It'll be the best, meeting we'll have. Even if you have grudges, it'll turn out to be best. So subconscious mind, training your subconscious to heal yourself. That's how people have cured themselves from cancers also. When doctors said it would not work, there was a friend of mine who's got a stroke. So he said it doesn't work. How could she totally cure herself? Because she's telling herself every day, hey, my body, you need to treat me. So every night when you sleep, your body becomes an alarm clock as well. So every night you sleep and you tell your body, I'm going for the best sleep. Just a 4-hour sleep, it has to be the best sleep of my night, and please wake me up 5 in the morning refreshed. You keep telling it, next time you don't need an alarm. It'll say, yes sir, I'm your clock and I'm sure I'll do that. So this is, these are very beautiful things. If we have a knowledge towards that, we can definitely improve our lives multifold. So that's all I have to say, and thank you for a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
And another thing about past life, what I believe, it really does not matter whether you have seen a past life or you've not seen a past life, whether it was imagination, whether it was metaphor, but what matters is the outcome. You feel relaxed, you feel liberated, a lot of answers get answered in your life, and I think that is very important. Thank you.
And even if you fall asleep during the meditation session, the sleep is beautiful. It's really nice and deep. So it's worth it.
Group the
Can we have a group picture?
yes.
Please come for a group photograph. It's like a hike session. Please, everybody come for a session. Please come in. Please come
Yes, ma'am.
अरे ठीक है चलो चलो
आ गए अच्छा आप
रुको रुको डेट क्लिक करना है 1 मिनट
स्माइल बोलो जल्दी
अभी बोलते हैं सही से बैठ के जाएं
Everybody says smile and everyone smiles.
हाँ yes smile 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 thank you wait
It's still a more. मेरे वाले में भी करना. Come now. आइए ना. ये वाला? Yeah. It's under my bag. It's not. It's under my bag. Locked. Locked to have it. ये भी कर. Relaxing is
yes
pink.
just one
Done? Yes.
you're so fast my god I can't believe it
Thank you. Wow. Thank you all.
okay
બાજુમાં ચેક કરો, બાજુમાં ચાલુ જ છે.